Yes. Oh, okay. I think we'll just start, as I want to let everybody move on with their lives as well. But welcome, everybody. It's great to see you. It's been nice for the past couple of weeks. I've had an opportunity to meet with a number of you in person, which has been delightful, absolutely delightful. And I'm looking forward to more of those opportunities as we go forward. Maybe we could start by introducing ourselves, just who's, there we go. There's Maria coming on. Good. There, Maria, hi. She's connecting. Okay. There we go. Why don't we just, I'm going to go around the room, and I know we all have different views of who's in each of the different screens here, but I'm going to ask each person just to give your name and who you're representing, and then we'll do a little bit more later. Maria, we're echoing. Okay. Barbara, why don't you start?
Okay, hi, I am Barbara Epke. Even though my name shows up at Richard Friedman, I'm visiting my sister and brother-in-law, so I apologize. I am going to be co-chair of Post Grants in the coming year. I've been on grants, and I will be your liaison until we have our Post Grants committee really established. We want to make sure that whoever takes this over is very interested in the linkage and the potential of getting more feedback from all of our grantees and making sure you have plenty of information to work with.
Great, thank you. Donna hasn't come back on yet. Mary? You're on mute, Mary, you're on mute.
I'm Mary Grossman, and on the Communications Committee, mostly working on the newsletter.
Okay, thank you. And Judy?
I'm Judy Dobbs, and I'm the new co-chair for Grantee Connect.
Great. And thank you, Judy. It's so nice to have Grantee Connect come to our meeting. Anne?
I am Ann Daniels. This year I was serving as the grants liaison to the committee. As of 2 days ago, I'm now one of the circle co-chairs, and I think we're going to split it up so one of us will go to each committee. So I may be coming throughout the next year as well. I'm not sure. Okay. But we'll let you know.
Great. And Anne, I hope that Judy and, I'm blanking. Carmina. Yes, I'm hoping that they're going to have a liaison to, not that they can replace you, but you know what I mean, that will come to our meetings.
Yes, I'm sure someone from grants will I'm sure they'll find somebody. Yes.
Okay. Joyce, I'm going to come to you last, if that's okay, because I want you to have a little bit different introduction. Maria?
Hi, I'm Maria Darby, and I'm the chair of the social media committee.
Great. And Ruth, who's muted. She may not be. Oh, there she is.
Nope, I'm here. Ruth Sadler, and I'm on the newsletter committee.
Okay. And Donna, are you still on a phone call? I think she's still on a phone call. Donna Cobb, who is our representative from the Ready Committee. So anyways, welcome everybody, and thanks so much for joining us today. I think that a lot of you, I think all of you are probably aware we had the changing of the guard. Yes, 2 days ago, May 17th, in the full circle meeting, when we announced the whole new circle leadership and the whole committee, new, incoming committee leadership. So it was just a really wonderful meeting and really fabulous to be back together again. Just 2.5 years of not having all that. That was pretty amazing. There's another person who I haven't yet introduced, and we'll start with our own committee. It now has a change of leadership, and I'm going to start by saying thank you to Amy, who has been our co-chair for the past 2 years. I can honestly say that Amy has been my guardian angel. I really had pretty much no idea what I was doing when I joined this committee. I've never been involved in communications before, but she just handled it in stride, and gosh, you could just throw stuff at her and she just kept moving with it and kept, don't worry, you can do this, da, da, da. I mean, she's just been great. So I just want to, on the record, say thank you so much for your guidance and your patience with me. And I just have adored working with you. And also she's blessed us by saying that she will continue to help stay on the social media subcommittee to help during this transition until we're kind of figuring it all out again, what we're going to be doing. So that's great. And that brings me to introducing our brand new co-chair, my fellow co-chair, who is Joyce Moscovitz. And I've had the great pleasure of working with Joy I think it was 2018 through 20 when Joyce was the secretary of the whole circle, and we didn't work terribly closely together, but we were in a lot of meetings together and a lot of ideas together coming up. And I'm going to let Joyce introduce herself because she's in a jury room right now, if that's not dedication. So Joyce, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Joyce Moscovitz, and I'm very pleased to be the incoming co-chair of the Communications Committee. So I have been a member of the Circle since, I think, 2016. And as Peggy said, I was the secretary of the steering committee of the board for 2 of those years. I've also served on grants and post grants, but I will say, like Peggy, I have no idea what I'm doing in terms of communications because I have never done anything like this before. So Peggy will be my guardian angel, and I will be relying heavily on her to show me the way, and all of you, because you guys all have a lot of knowledge that I'm looking to tap into. So I look forward to working with all of you, and I hope you'll be as patient with me as you've been with Peggy. So talk to you guys soon.
Okay, thanks, Joyce. And she had just texted me shortly before that, oh, I can't talk now, I'm going into a jury so she may be going in and out, so we're gonna just roll with this. All right, so we also have people, a couple that you're seeing right now, where liaisons for the past year have moved into different positions, some into leadership positions. And so we have Leslie Glickman, who's been representing education for the past year, is going to be the new Circle secretary. Oh, there's Donna. Donna, hi. Want to give a quick introduction of yourself?
Hi, everybody. Donna Cobb here. I am the liaison from the Racial Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee.
That's great. Thank you.
Good to see you all.
Yes. So Leslie's moving on to be secretary, and
Oh, should I say more?
well, no, yeah, we were just doing quickies. We're doing quickies. Okay. So anyway, she's moving on to be secretary, and I did reach out to her, and she will no longer be representing education. And Susan Manikin and her new co-chair, who is that Dara? Who is that? Anne? Dana Murray, I think her name is. I'm not even sure. Well, anyways, her new.
Yes, it is Dana Murray.
Yes, Dana Murray. Sorry, I was on mute.
You've
Yes,
seen
Dana.
Another communication faux pas. Anyway, they're going to be working on getting us a liaison from education. And Pam Pasqualini, who has been representing membership for the past couple of years, she's going to be our new assistant treasurer. And she is, I haven't heard yet who membership will be, if Pam's still going to do that, or if she's going to do her many more important duties of being the assistant treasurer of the circle, but we will find out soon, hopefully from Jennifer and from Lynn Brins. And Barbara has already explained that Barbara, who has been our liaison, a great liaison for the past year, and she's going to be the new co-chair of Post Grants, which is fabulous. And Judy, we're so delighted to have you here, and we're looking forward to having somebody from your committee come and be on our group. It really helps us to have somebody who can share what's going on, because then we know as we're putting stuff together what to either give emphasis to or special ways to say it or whatever. So anyway, thank you. Okay, I'm going to do a brief steering committee update just to, from a week ago, we had our last meeting of the year of the old guard. That sounds so weird. But anyway, what I learned is that we have a new MOU that's been signed with the Baltimore Community Foundation, and I think it's for 4 years. Is that right? 4 years, not 2? Anybody who remembers that? I don't know that fact.
I know. And you know, I mean, I wasn't part of
I
the.
don't, I'm not on the steering committee this year, but that would be
I
great.
think, yeah. So hopefully 4 years.
Yeah, it was before. I just didn't write down the number. One thing that's kind of cool, what the group has decided, we're going to do a survey of the entire membership. Now, it's not going to be a long survey, maybe about a page, hopefully not more than a page. I haven't seen the final list of questions, but to see how people think things are going, and ideas that have been thrown out, or maybe trying to capture a little data about how to give us more information how to do our jobs better. And one thing we did, and I'll mention this for Maria, we did put a couple questions about social media on there, trying to learn more about who's really using it in the circle or not, and if they're not, why, and how, or if they are, how frequently, and which may help to guide us in terms of frequency of posting, or if we need to do some training, or or maybe even look at new directions for social media. So anyways, we would like to have some data for that. So I would like to ask each of you, would you please fill out the survey when you get it? And that of course assumes that Joyce and I will have been trained how to get it out to you in member leaf, which we don't know how to do yet. So we're all, it's a moving target here, but we'll be doing our best to learn that. The big news was that we had 26 grants that were awarded, which was really exciting. And we learned a little bit about each one of them and what categories they came in. And Marianne Pinker did her fabulous analysis of, how things have changed from when we used to do stuff, and how they've changed over the past 5 years. So that was really wonderful. And we're going to put a lot of that information in the year in review. That's our print document that we'll be doing this summer. We also will at least list everybody's names and maybe just a very brief one-liner or so in the newsletter that's coming up. Let's see. This was a biggie. The largest membership to date was announced. 465, or maybe it was 69 members. That's pretty, excuse me, let me mute this. Okay. Which is really exciting. I know that the goal had been to hit 500, but boy, they have been pushing. And I think they got 55 or 56 new members just in the past year. So that's really exciting. And
Peggy,
yeah.
Can I just ask a quick question about this? And I'm not sure if I missed it or if we don't know yet. What's the analysis of the 60 who joined in terms of age? And I think, I want to say she mentioned that there were several in the younger group, because we've been trying to tackle an initiative to get younger members interested.
She did not give that analysis.
Okay.
There was an announcement made that a 17-year-old, what do you think about that, found us on either the web or on our social media site, a 17-year-old who wanted to know if she could join the circle, because she, and so they're not going to necessarily, because she is 17 and theoretically she's a minor, and of course there is a membership fee and all this. So I think that there's some work that will be involved in reaching out to her and trying to maybe get in touch with a parent or something, just to make sure we can figure that all out and that it's a legitimate interest. So that's the highlight. Anne, I don't think you were there, but who else was there? That might be, I think I'm the only one else who was there from that particular meeting. But anyway, it was a really good, it was exciting. Okay, I want to go to the the newsletter year in review report. First of all, I want to thank Ruth. Ruth, you're on, but I want to thank you so much for agreeing again to be our kind of editor-in-chief, or the chair of our subcommittee. And I want to thank Mary, and I want to thank Lauren for all of your work this year in getting out our newsletters. I hope that, we will be looking for some feedback, but I think people will say that they're pretty darn good. We've gotten some lots of unsolicited praise for them. So we hope they're good. In fact, for those of you who remember Barbara Portnoy Spector, the former co-chair who I replaced, Barbara, she approached me at the Full Circle meeting and said, you know, it's really hard when you're actually working on it to appreciate what it's all about. She goes, but now that I'm not on it anymore, she says, oh my God, she goes, I really can keep in touch with what's going on in the circle. So that was really cool to learn. So anyways, so I'm going to turn this over to Ruth. Ruth, don't have to have a long report, but if you could just kind of give a few highlights about what you'd like to say about the committee and our works to date. Are you there, Ruth?
Okay, there we are. Okay, we've revised some of the deadlines. So the plan was to be able to get out this newsletter and capture the Full Circle meeting, which was in person, which was a really exciting thing to happen. We will also be able to get in a very brief mention of the new grantees and the fact that there were nearly half of them. I mean, it's an amazing 42% were first time grantees for Circle grants. And that we've pushed the year in review a little later, maybe, almost a month. So we're hoping to capture a little more information in that, since it is the year in review and we wanted to get as much post-grant information in it as possible. And
Ruth, and what
Yes.
date will that be?
our projection is that it will be in the mail on the 15th of August. This is mid-August, and then the digital final would be coming out about a week after that.
And I'm sorry to drill down on this,
No.
but we really feel we want to get information to you, and the close of the year is such a difficult time to get feedback from grantees. So what's the last date that you'll want information?
We were hoping to have, let's see, where is this? Everything by the 11th of July.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Barbara, we will, I think we will have some further conversations with you all to see if we can be flexible about that, because Robin did reach out about that your end of the year reports aren't even due till the end of July. So we'll see what we
Right.
can do about that.
I was
and-
actually reading, excuse me, the older one. We were maybe hoping to actually get it out about a month later. So this would come out in September rather than August. And just to be able to capture more of the final grantee and post grants. So we were actually thinking of having those by August 10th.
Oh, that would be absolutely wonderful. And if you don't mind, Peggy, if I address this now, because it's more relevant than if I just mention it later. Robin and I have had a lot of talks about this. We take you very seriously. And also, I have to say, some of our agenda is making sure we tap some of these grantees who are the lesser knowns. And the interim plan was that I said, well, I can call 5 or 6 grantee liaisons and see what's new. But bear in mind, they won't even have the most current information. It's backdated to April-ish or January. So this would be perfect, Ruth. And I think we can hustle to get you what you need. And we can talk more offline if you like. But if you're saying second week of July or
August 10th for.
Or you're on mute now. Oh, there, you're off. You're off.
This August 10th for
You're on mute.
post grant.
that would be great.
And then because we've already started to get things from some of the other people, and so we could be editing that and just kind of hanging out for your report.
Well, you're wonderful. But I also think we'll get far better information by then. So we can talk more offline before then, but this is great. Robin will be very pleased, and we are certainly willing to hustle. So
Well,
thank you.
Thank you. And a big push from this has a lot of information from Peggy, who has been on post grants, and I've tried to get information from her, and it's well, if you're getting it really early, it's in a lot of cases incomplete.
Yeah.
They're guesses, and I can understand with some of the newer and very much smaller
Yes.
organizations, they just can't get this, this level of information in
Well,
that short a period of time.
This
So
is great news. You've made our day. And I'll
Oh.
be talking to Robin later today. So thank you so much. We'll make it happen.
great. Thank you.
Anything else, Ruth?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
That's it for me.
I would like to just say one thing, just for each of you to go back with your committees. Photos. And did I say photos? Anything you can take. Don't worry if it's, photographer level. All of that makes for a better newsletter. It's just, otherwise we're just pulling stuff down from websites. It's better than nothing, but it's just, real time things are fun. People smiling, enjoying what they're doing, that's all good stuff. So anyways, that would be great. Let's see, there is also one other thing, Judy, we just want to make sure we always get, because Grantee Connect is a different thing. It's not necessarily the circle members, but we do like to have you had your meeting yet with your grantees?
No, it's in June, pretty
Oh,
soon.
okay. Yeah, we're really excited about that because, Grantee Connect has kind of really developed a lot since it's come out from under post grants. And so it's really cool to see it. And so I just want to give you a lot of press for it. Okay, social media. Maria, thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to now chair social media. I really appreciate it personally, having done it with you for the past year. So thank you for coming on board. And want to give a spiel, a little bit about what we're doing and
Sure. So we had the little flyer in the bags for folks that were there at the gathering on Tuesday to try to encourage some folks to be ambassadors. We've really decided to take a little bit of a different take on social media and to try to get circle members that might not be willing to post or not sort of active in that way of using the social media, but to be an ambassador where they actively like and follow the things that we post, because then that goes to their networks. And so we tried to do a fun shtick to sort of encourage them to do that. And just to kind of demonstrate a little bit about the power of that. So I've talked about being a member of the circle in previous on my own social media, but on Tuesday when I was at the event or the meeting, I posted that I was at my first meeting in person, and I had on there. And from that, 3 people that I know asked about membership, and one indicated that she had just paid her membership dues. And then I posted Sally Ward is a member of the Junior League. She's a longtime sustainer. And I know you were a member many years ago, but Sally is a current member. I posted, we have a private, closed social media Facebook account for the Junior League. And so I posted on there that she was the new circle member, and I got 2 other sustainers, so people that are, the older junior leaguers like myself that express interest. So I say that because I think it's, I think sometimes we think that, it's just, you're just posting that you're a meeting or you're at an activity or whatever. And so, but I think that the people that which is when you're speaking from your own social media accounts, it's the people that that matter, not who else the circle might know. It really does help people think differently about maybe investigating things that they wouldn't have. Like they might not have just clicked on the Women's Giving Circle, post on its own. But if you say something on your social media about whatever your volunteer experience is or whatever you're doing, it sort of just encourages the cross connection. And so that's what we're going to try to get the social media ambassadors to do. So if any of you know anyone that might be good at that, it's very easy. As I said, I can teach people how to do it over cocktails or over a call or over coffee. Either way, any of those options work. And I guess we're just trying to expand the number of people that are engaging with us, because as one of the circle's goals is to attract maybe sort of the next generation of members, it really is how they, people in their 40s, 30s, 40s, and 50s are connecting with one another and learning about activities and engagement with other volunteer things. So That's my pitch for that. And it's going to be, and we're trying, and if you are interested in being an actual poster or know anyone that's interested in posting for the circle, if you let me know that as well, we can, it's not complicated either. We're going to be looking at how we can really utilize the post to encourage membership in the circle and to encourage connection with our grantees as we've continued to do, unless the survey tells us something different, in which case then we'll look in a different direction if that becomes necessary. That's all.
That's great.
Maria, can I just first of all mention, I love the flyer, and I apologize if I missed this, but is it possible for you to email that to all the membership? Because if it's on the website, that's one thing, but it's more of a push if it goes to everyone. I just thought it was great. So if you've already done it, sorry, but if you haven't.
No, we haven't done it, and I don't know how to do that, but if Peggy tells me how, I can do that.
Yeah, we can do it. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there is one piece of news, and I don't know, it's news, and Maria, I haven't even had a chance to talk with you about it, I don't think, about Elda, who's not on right now. I don't know, Elda, for those of you who have been with the liaisons, Elda has been our poster for Instagram for at least a year, if not 2 years, and she's done a great job. She took it from basically nothing to having a pretty steady following, small, but a steady following. And anyways, Elda was in South Africa, a couple months ago, and she had a bad accident where she fell and she did a nasty, nasty thing on her ankle. In fact, I saw her x-rays of her ankle and I didn't see any bone in there. I just saw like many pieces of metal being, put in there, but she's pretty involved in just rehab right now. And so she's just not going to be posting anymore. So first of all, I want to thank her so much for all of her work on it. And she was on the call, but she just sent me a note saying they've had a power outage, so she's off, but she's just done a great job. And so we want to thank you, Elda. And I know Maria is going to be thinking about, how we can maximize continuing our presence on Instagram. Maybe we can do some moving back and forth between Facebook and Instagram or vice versa. And we'll figure that out. But great idea, by the way, Barbara, about emailing this thing out. We've actually talked about maybe putting it in the newsletter. What do you think about that? A one-pager in the newsletter. That would be.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think the more the better.
Yeah, because we've done a few little blurbs were Ruth. I'm sorry, I'm now learning it's a B, not a P. Blurb. We've done a few asking people to join us, but we really haven't gotten any response. So maybe this will grab people's attention. See, very colorful and good job, Maria. God.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
Okay. Next, website. Kathy is away. Kathy Newman, our webmaster, is away, but I just know she's busy right now trying to update the information on the website with all of our grantees. We have a section, if you haven't been on the website recently or whatever, there's a section on current grantees and past grantees, and basically just a spiel, about who they are and what they're about. It's not terribly long, and we put their website addresses as well, which, by the way, Barbara, just FYI, when your people go out and are talking to them, could you always have them check if the website's changed? Because in 1 year, many of the websites had changed, and so people couldn't get to the grantee if they wanted to from our website. So
great point. Thank you. And that's a good thing to pull together for the meet and greet and the welcome that's being discussed.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, she's working on that, and she's always very, very helpful. If you have any questions or whatever, please just get in touch with Kathy directly. She's the webmaster, so she's got her own link, so we don't have to put her identity on the web. Member Leap. Joyce, since you are now not in a jury room, do you want to, if you want, I can do it, or you can do it. I don't know if you can talk in the room. Can't talk in the room. Okay. Quiet room. Got it. Okay, Joyce and I have talked and tried to decide, I told her how Amy and I had divvied up our duties in the past year, and we talked about it, and we think we're going to do it a little differently this year. Joyce is going to be moving forward with the newsletter and with the year in review, and I'm going to be staying with social media. And we're also, we're going to take what Amy did, this huge job, and I do put the word huge in capital letters, on Member Leap, and all the emails and the invitations and the RSVPs and surveys and you name it that goes out. And we're going to divide that up between us. We talked about different ways. We thought, oh, well, maybe we'll just alternate months so we can each have a life other than doing this. But I think what Amy had suggested is we might want to just gravitate each of us toward the committee. Like there's basically two committees that seem to have a lot of work on that regard. It's education and I think membership. The rest of them, people are doing their own committee mail out. So we're not talking about those. We're just talking about the ones where you invite the full circle, that kind of thing, or you're communicating with the full circle. And so we're going to divvy that up between us. So we'll let you know as we haven't figured that out yet. And we're in training. Amy is going to be, she's done one training with us already. We now have access to Member Leap and we'll be learning more. And we're doing that like next week, I think we'll be doing that. So anyways, more to come on that. I wanted to bring up something about junk mail. And Ruth, you're still on, right? Can you talk a little bit about junk mail and spam? And we were going to have you say something.
Okay, one of the problems is communication. The problem is if people don't get the email, there's not much we can do about it because it's probably their email server. And we just have to try to make people aware that we are emailing them things and to ensure that we have the correct email for them. And they should put us in, put the circle or anything from the circle in their address book. So it presumably won't go to spam. And I'm not sure that there's too much else we can do about it if our own, email servers decide on the algorithms they use that stuff is spam. And so I guess the best thing is just and we're planning to put something in the year in review. And so it'll be in print and urge people to have the most up-to-date email address with us that they can, because if we send it in the newsletter, we run the problem that the email doesn't get there. So I guess that's the best we can do short of making announcements in person.
Yeah, and I throw this out, when you have in-person events, and each of you, when you have in-person events, even with your own committees, if you could kind of have a mantra. We're reaching about maybe 72% of the circle with our emails that have gone out from Member Leap. That's 28%. I mean, they don't get paper documents anymore.
Right.
So, they don't get the newsletter. They don't get the emails. They don't get, even if you want to do a survey to find out, or instructions, or do training or whatever, it's just the way of the world. These things have gotten so sophisticated, they're rejecting them and they're putting them into spam and into junk mail and into promotional stuff. So I think we have to, all of us in each of our committees, kind of as a mantra, if you want communications from us, you've got to make sure people know to check their spam, check their junk mail, whatever it's called on the individual programs you use.
So Peggy, when you say we're reaching 72% or something, do we know the others are bouncing back, or do some just disappear? Because I know you can get.
We just know that they open it.
Oh, that they did not open it.
Yes.
But don't we get a list of what actually bounces back that's a bad email?
Yeah, but that's not, I don't think we're having a big problem.
That's not the big problem.
No,
okay,
no,
yeah.
it's not. No.
I mean, and I agree, that's always been, right? Check your junk mail, put the BWGC in your address book.
Right.
And I agree. I think, maybe that's the mantra that communications has it steering. Remember to tell your committee that they have to do this, because then if you all say it every month, then they remember it every month. And you're right. We just have to say it over and over. And hopefully if somebody tells their friend they're not getting something, either they call you all or me or somebody, it's drifting out. But you're right. You have to say it over and over and over again. Check your spam and put us in your in your address book, but it's,
Right.
yeah, I wish there was a better answer for you.
Yeah, I know. And you know, it's what's interesting here, we're trying to do a survey of the membership. And so the only way we can get the survey to the membership is through email and through member leap. So, I mean, it doesn't, by the way, it doesn't really get triggered so much if you do it from your own email account. It's when you're using a server based or a membership based thing. But you know, it is what it is. It's the world we live in, and we just have to, you know.
And the other one is you will more often get it flagged if the email you use for the BWGC is a work email.
Mhm.
Because, you know, if you're at Hopkins or University of Maryland or something, or, you know, whatever, they have more sophisticated than my home. So
Yeah.
that's another thing to remind people is not to use a work email or to check your spam for your
Yeah.
work email. So really those three things are the big ones.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, work emails are worse. Like you said, if I something from my house, it's more likely to get through than if I send it from Memberleaf. Same thing. I'm more likely to get it at home than I am through my work email.
Yeah, good point, Anne. Thank you.
I think that's an excellent point. The other thing I would suggest, if Ruth can do this, is stick a reminder in the newsletter, because that's posted as well as emailed, I believe. It is not, sorry.
They are
because again,
posted. They are posted on the public side of the
Oh,
website.
okay.
Oh, I thought you meant like posted in the mail. Sorry.
No,
No. I meant
Okay.
on the site. But the reason I think that's important, I have noticed since I left work that sometimes people that I communicate with every day, all of a sudden I don't get something like from Wendy Kronmiller. All of a sudden, and surprise, it's in spam. I check mine every day, but you can't even be sure that there's not somehow a glitch in the screen that something you receive all the time suddenly goes to spam. So I think if we can stick it in the newsletter, just a little reminder, it'd be great.
Is there any way to can we get a list of who's not getting it? I mean, that might have to be backwards. Like, can we get a list of who's opening it and then work backwards to see who's not? And I know 20% is a lot of people, but if it's really 28% on a pretty constant basis, then do we once a year want to try and track down those 28% of people and figure out, what's happening?
I think we
'cause
can.
that's almost a quarter of everybody if they're not getting it. So,
I mean, whatever is happening, I mean, just bottom line, it hasn't resulted in a drop in membership. It hasn't resulted in a drop in donations or whatever. But yes, I think we can, because I mean, I have to learn more, and Joyce has to learn more about how to get that kind of information out of Memberleaf. But it's obviously that's why we're using Memberleaf. We're trying to have data about all that stuff. So we'll work on that. I promise.
Is it possible that people just aren't opening in particular emails?
It could be that too.
So in that case, finding out who they are, I think, is somewhat of an invasion. But
well, I guess maybe if we looked at, I don't know, sort of maybe three of the e-newsletters over a year, and maybe see if there's some overlap, like, these 25 people never open any of the three, and maybe we work on that outreach, right? If you just opened one but not the other, then we know you're getting it. But if somebody's consistently not opening anything, I don't know. I was just wondering. But yeah, if people aren't clamoring saying, I don't, where's my stuff? I don't know, it just might be interesting. Right. I wouldn't want to reach out and make them feel bad.
No, but I mean, another thought, Mary, and that's a good point. You're right. It could be that they just are choosing not to. Yeah. It could be many different reasons why, but what might be able to do if we got a list might be to be able to send a regular email versus a Memberleaf email, just to say, in case you're not aware, you can, and it's more just how do you reach somebody?
Sounds like a lot of nitty gritty analysis.
Yeah. Well,
Would
we'll
take
see.
be
Let's,
very time consuming and maybe not pay off.
yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
everybody, it's Dawn. It's Donna. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I'm in the car now. Yeah, I mean, I think the survey that's going to go out is going to ask how members prefer to, it's going to ask a communications related question. I don't have it off the top of my head, but that might give you some insight into, how people want to be communicated with via the circle. So that'll be interesting to see. I do know from the Racial Equity, Diversity and Inclusion Committee, I mean, our sense is that a lot of what we sent out wasn't read by people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because they didn't open it or they weren't interested or it went to spam. But given the level of misunderstanding and confusion, it just strikes us that there's a lot that hasn't, and people haven't read, and we're really working on a communication strategy, which we'll be talking to you all about at some point, like how to do this so that people, are up, aware of what's going on. So
Right.
anyway, it'll be interesting to see what the survey reveals.
I think that you've hit it right on the head. There's many reasons why. I mean, it could be they're not interested in it or they're busy. I mean, it could be many different reasons, but I don't think we know anything until we get some data about it. And and Donna, just, of course, we're sending out the survey. We haven't done it yet. And we haven't gotten it yet, but when we do, we'll be sending it out from MemberLeap. So it will only reach at least whatever number of people. So that, it's just, it is what it is, guys. I mean, we do have,
Right.
Ruth, is she still on? Yeah. Ruth did mention, I mean, we have one print publication a year, and we're going to take advantage of the fact that one print publication will physically get, unless the US Postal Service screws up, but they will get into somebody's mailbox. So we'll have to think about that, Joyce and Ruth, for the year in review to make sure that we figure out if we're capitalizing on that. So, okay. On to, and of course I've written all over my agenda. So what are we up to? I think that's it. Liaison updates. Do you, why don't we start with, because you can't tell who's who on my screen. Judy, you're on the top of my screen right now. So Judy, want to give an update about Grantee Connect?
Well, we're having a meeting in June with the members of the committee. The forums take place in the fall and spring. So in June, we'll be talking about the topics and speakers.
Judy, did you have your your spring meeting already with the grantees?
Yes.
And when was that? I mean, just approximately.
It was May, it was last week.
Like it was
May
last
11th,
week.
I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so Judy's not giving herself props because we had this really great forum with Judy. Was it like 60 grantees on the call?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we had two speakers, John Brothers from T-Row and Brooke Heisel from the Krieger Funds, and we had a great conversation about collaboration. So
yes.
Grantee Connect and Judy and the others did a great job of pulling it together.
Well, and you did a great job too.
Well, that was easy. It was easy for me. It was fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, is there any way we could just get a little blurb from you all about it? Because I don't think it's been listed anywhere in any of our documents. Judy.
Okay, I'll talk to Sylvia about it.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah. Okay. And Barbara, where are you at?
Yes, just a couple things. I had mentioned before everyone was on that I will continue to be the liaison until the new post-grants committee is really well established. We wanted to make sure that there is someone who's very dedicated to the cause, who is your liaison in future months. That's one thing. The timing of the year in review was huge for us. Thank you, Ruth. We are also, I think Robin talked with you, Peggy, about bullets for information per platform, because we need to do a better job. And I think that communication bug can be planted in people's ears from the moment they're receiving the grant funds. I mean, it can be before January, before April, and then at the end of the year, so that we have a dialogue set up, both between liaisons and grantees, and just encouraging grantees to speak up. as I said, our concern is not just the big guys who have more staff like Marion House to get the word out, but some of the very small ones. You heard about Soccer Without Borders, for instance. I was liaison to that. We were so excited about what they have to offer. And some of the new ones that were just approved, like Ballet After Dark, which sounds like something very different than what it is if you read the description. And we would love to get some of that out there. So we promised to do a better job. And the last thing, this is also something Peggy and I discussed. Sometimes I think when somebody is in the wrong committee, clearly, and they have gifts to offer, we don't want to lose them to the circle. Leanne Gabriel is somebody who was at Grants, and she's very committed, very involved. She's entrepreneurial. She's an attorney. She's a great new member, but this wasn't a great fit for her. And when I mentioned ComCom, I think she actually had reached out to all of you as well, but I called her to assure her that I would make the link with Peggy. She'd be a great member, I think, and I don't want to risk losing her to the circle.
Cool.
So I hope you are receptive to that sort of thing. And that's really it for now, unless anybody has anything to ask me to work on.
But it's reminding me that there's going to be the steering committee. I don't know if we approved or we're about to approve or have approved an orientation for new grantees that will occur over the summer. And it's going to essentially let them know who we are. And so that to see if there's some better ways to connect with us to maximize their visibility, if you want to call it that. So
I think that's wonderful.
And we've made a promise that we will work strictly through the post-grants liaisons rather than have a lot of people connecting directly to grantees.
And thank you. I know you and Robin and Wendy have talked a lot about that. So thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell me a little bit more about that? So communications is going to have an orientation for new grantees.
No, grants.
Yes.
It's going to have an orientation for new grantees before they get passed over to post grants.
Yes.
Yes. And actually, Anne, Jane Burkow, again, I'm new to this, so I wasn't involved with the whole process, but Jane and Wendy, I believe, worked on a proposal, or Jane had a proposal, Wendy was involved. And I know both committees are very enthused about that. So
that's great.
It's in the works.
Thanks. That sounds great.
And I don't think I think they brought it up at the end of the meeting, but because it was the last steering committee, so I'm probably stole their thunder, but it's going to be, they want to make sure that, and they wrote up a really great proposal.
Yes.
And a bunch of us as co-chairs kind of put together some ideas about what could be covered. But the idea being so that they at least understand who it is that's just funded them, you know?
Yes.
Okay, let's see who else. Donna, want to give us an update on Ready?
Well, Ready, as some of you may know, there's a work group that meets regularly to talk about a variety of things related to the racial equity, diversity, inclusion. We had a big meeting on May 4th where we were assisted by a very able facilitator to take the language that was proposed last summer and go through it and identify ideas, considerations, concerns. We made a big long list. And so that was very productive, I think. So we meet again on June 2nd to see what all the other, I should have back up, say it. The work group has been divided into task groups that are working on very discrete tasks like communications, member engagement, and that sort of thing. So we're meeting on June 2nd to see where we all stand with our work and to figure out if we're going to continue to work over the summer or wait to the fall. So more to come, but we're making progress.
Great, thank you. I think that's everybody I think that's it. So anybody have any questions or any closing thoughts? Okay, well, then we look forward to, I do have one question to ask you all. I mean, we might ask it again. Because of COVID, we've been doing Zooms all year and the year before, whatever. We're about 20 or so people on this committee. So it's not exactly a small little living room group unless you have a huge living room. Is doing this on Zoom good for you, or do you want to just like think about it? Maybe we'll poll next time when we meet to see if Zoom should be the way we continue to meet, or if we want to try in person. So how about I'll just plant that seed in your head to think about it, and we'll figure that out maybe next time we meet. Okay.
Could I just plant the seed of hybrid? Peggy and I were talking because I was on early since I'm visiting someone. And even like a quarterly in person, but every month on Zoom, because Peggy and I were saying people have gotten used to it, and it is hard to jump in your car and drive to all these different meetings. But I really would like a hybrid. I mean, there are people like Maria. I've not been in the same room with you, and you do such an amazing job. I would love to see you in person. But, you know, maybe quarterly, maybe twice a year, whatever the group thinks, but a hybrid.
Yeah, all right. I mean, let's talk about it at the next meeting.
Okay.
I live very close to Sherwood Gardens. I mean, that's another option. If people are uncomfortable being in a room together, we could just bring chairs or something, or bring something where we would just meet together in person. So that's another option. We can just see how that all goes. All right, ladies, thank you very much, and we'll see you next month. Adios.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.